Hello ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here for Digital Dojos, and today we're going to be taking a quick unboxing, more importantly, my first impressions of this guy right here, the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Yes, I still hate that whole naming scheme. Anyways, let's dive right into it. I want to kind of throw it back to the old school unboxing videos, but obviously the main focus on this to talk over is my first impressions, my first kind of couple hours here with the 11 Pro Max and my overall thoughts on it so far. Obviously, we're not going to be diving into the deep, detailed tech specs and all of those fun stuff because I think I want to look at this from the perspective of just the everyday user, as well as, of course, in this case with the Pro line, the people that are trying to target with this phone. We've come a long way since this guy right here, the iPhone, first generation, certainly. The iPhone 11 and 11 Pro Max, again, that naming scheme, is the newest flagship phone from Apple. And the main differences in that of the 11 and the 11 Pro Max, and I guess to kind of size comparison here, I have my iPhone 10, which is roughly the same size and screen size that the difference is there. The 11 is coming in the new kind of glossier back and the new back finish that they have here, while this 11 Pro Max comes in that of a matte finish. And here's mine in space gray. This is the 256 gig model with, of course, the alien cameras, the triple camera system that the 11 Pro Max features. In the box, as you saw there in the unboxing, comes not just your typical earpods, which look like AirPods out of the box. Eventually, that'd be crazy if they can come to a point at the certain price point we're at now where they incorporated AirPods in the box. But that's likely not likely to happen. However, Apple did finally include a fast charger with this iPhone. So it's a USB-C to Lightning for faster charging with this specific adapter. I believe this started with that of the iPad Pro. My iPad Pro came with it, and that definitely helps in terms of recharging time and just getting to kind of like full battery much more quicker using the fast charger adapter and cable. So that's what you get in the box. Outside of that, of course, you get the phone itself, the main centerpiece here. Now, I'm shooting this video with my 10s Max, and that's up to this point, has been my daily driver. I'll start out by saying this. This is an upgrade I didn't personally need. This is an upgrade I think if you're on the 10s Max right now, possibly even the 10, I don't think you need. And I can say that almost kind of confidently even before the full-on review. Because around this time, something to factor in is that iOS 13 or whatever iOS versions, when they release a flagship phone, they tend to release a major update of iOS. And your older phones are going to get that. Your current gen phones are going to get that, and for the most part get all the features that come with that. You're going to get all the fancy features. You're going to get the speed improvements. And to be quite honest, my 10s Max felt like a breath of new life with iOS 13. And again, that's something that really helps in terms of like your phone not feeling as old when the new one just comes out. The main features you're getting here over, again, the 10s Max is that camera, the triple camera system. And that's what they're banking the whole Pro moniker on, these cameras. And don't get me wrong, the cameras, technically speaking, are amazing. They're great. I've done a little tests so far, indoors and outdoors with it. And it looks sharper, the autofocus, and then the way it comes in with the 12 megapixels on the new cameras is phenomenal. The new internal camera, which is really nice if you're like using like I am now my phone for like vlogging or videos or whatever. It's nicer to have that internal camera now to support a higher quality in 12 megapixels as well. I'm not going to complain about better cameras. Don't get me wrong. The technology behind that is really great. But is that solely enough to upgrade? I mean, outside of that, we have the slight new design, and I'd say slight because it really is just the back here. Everything else feels the same. You have the same ports. You don't even have USB-C yet on the new Apple flagship phone when their iPads are shipping with it, or their MacBooks are shipping with it. On top of that, I think the only first impressions out of the box is this felt heavier. It felt more sturdy, and I think that's in part due to the new backing and glass that they say is supposed to be much more durable and stronger on the back of the phone. It almost makes the phone feel like slightly thicker than my previous 10s Max, and I don't know dimension wise, but maybe it is slightly thicker. It definitely feels heftier and heavier in this new material here. So yeah, that's definitely something I noticed out of the box. Just real-time tests, however, comparing it side by side with my 10s Max earlier, speed-wise, animations, just day-to-day usage, things that you would do didn't feel that much snappier. It didn't feel like amazingly, mind-blowingly, crazier. Now, keep in mind, these aren't fully technical tests, right? I did this time out of the box do the iCloud restore. Typically, when I get a new phone, I tend to set it up brand new and start from scratch. And this time, I really want to compare them side by side to see how the experience felt. And first off, the experience in terms of iCloud restore has gotten so much better. It literally took 10 minutes for my phone to be fully set up and ready to go right out of the box, and that was like amazing. So props on that part. But the actual like day-to-day things, and again, this isn't benchmarks. This isn't full on testing that I want to do for the review, but actual like real life examples, me opening apps, respringing Instagram, things that I would do on a daily basis, browse the web. While they're quick, they didn't feel like night and day, right? And maybe that's not what you're looking for, but might be expecting in a flagship phone. Really, what feels new is that of the cameras. The screen is better, the colors seem more vibrant, and that new super retina OLED, whatever they're calling it at this point, is nice. Don't get me wrong, I definitely notice more vibrancy and color in the screen. But the things that really will sell this phone for me, that will make this upgrade worthy, are going to be things like the battery life. And that's something I haven't fully tested, having the phone for a couple hours now, is how it gets me through the day. Because if the reality is true, if it gets me another 3 to 4 hours even out of my day, that's worth it for me personally. As somebody who, I may not be as focused in my day-to-day job now as in content creation, this isn't something like, whereas before I would justify always getting the latest and greatest because that was my job. Having more battery life, having more longevity out of my phone, something I do rely heavily on through work and personal on a day-to-day basis, that's worth it to me. That's worth an upgrade. And for me, again, while I think for most people on the 10 and 10s Max line don't need to upgrade, there is always differences. There's always context, right? If you're on a much older device, if you're eligible for an upgrade anyway because you're on that yearly plan, there's always a different situation scenario. But for me, right out the box, I'm just going to say that, it's a great phone. It's a good phone. It's an incremental upgrade. I don't think it deserves a pro moniker by any means. That's just personally as of right now. I don't think if you're on the previous generation of iPhone, it's something you need to spring and leap out for and spend the $1,000 on, or 700 if you're going to the 11. I think iOS 13 is going to suit your older device pretty well, and you can hold out until 2020 when hopefully the newer whatever next generation of phone comes out, and whatever they improve on from that point out. Anyways, guys, these are just my first impressions. I'm going to have the full review out in a couple weeks after I fully field tested this. So any questions, comments, things you want to know about this guy right here, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I will try my best to integrate that in the review. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching.